a lot of rural and tribal communities, the equation that everybody believes, that's generally accepted, is that a goat is an asset and a girl is a liability. Right? So the minute you believe that, you don't want to invest in the girl. Right? Your cattle is far more important than the girl. So for example, one of the girls in our villages was not going to school because her parents didn't believe in it. And so our team Balika, who are our village volunteers, went to her home several times to speak to her parents, to try and convince them. And this happened over many weeks. And the parents just did not relent. So eventually, she also spoke to the school administration, the village elders, and they held a big meeting in the village where all other girls who were out of school were also brought in there. And so it's like you have to mobilize the entire community. So you speak to the parents, you speak to headmasters, you have to apply the pressure from all angles to actually change that situation. So that little girl actually went to school about 3 months later, finally. But it's constant speaking and mobilization. So I have a team of 200 people, and yet we work in approximately 5,000 schools. There's no way we can do that. But having the community volunteers and having that government leverage is what really allows us to reach a large number of people. And so essentially, you're trying to convince parents and trying to convince communities, but the voices are not only our own. We follow a 3-step process. And the first step is enrollment, right? That's the first step, is convincing parents to enroll the girl in school. But we know that the girl will not stay in school unless there is a toilet for her, unless there's a boundary wall, unless there's a safe classroom, and unless she's learning. So the step 2 and 3 become about retention and learning outcomes. So actually our village volunteers are also going to the classroom to do activity-based learning curriculum. And that's what impacts learning. To make sure that that girl child, when she's in school and she finishes her schooling, she is literate and numerate and all of those things. Otherwise, it's worthless to spend time in school. So what we've seen is, when you build these alliances and partnerships and the community voices, the impact can be phenomenal. So our 1,500 plus volunteers have brought back over 52,000 girls into the school system in the last 5 years, which is all volunteer and community energy. So you can actually change systems. And they've impacted, by working in classrooms, learning outcomes for over 200,000 children. If you really wanted to impact a lot of indicators around poverty, the best way is to educate a girl. And it's really interesting how they say around 6 out of the 8 Millennium Development Goals can actually be improved if you educate the girl child. So for example, if a girl is educated, then for each additional year of schooling, they say about 10 to 15% family and national income goes up for each additional year of schooling, which is phenomenal. Then an educated mother is 40% more likely to immunize her children. So immediately, the minute you improve health and you improve the health of the children, you're actually reducing poverty. You have more disposable income as a family if you're not spending it on healthcare costs. Educated women are less likely to be trafficked, are less likely to get AIDS and HIV. So less cases of domestic violence. So if you want to break the cycle of poverty, then obviously educating the girl child is an enormously powerful tool.